Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are going from a noob to a pro in Tower Defense Simulator. So I'm planning on making this a series of about maybe 10 parts. And this series is heavily inspired by Manji and Repeller's series. So hopefully you enjoy. I just made this account, so I hadn't even done anything on it when I joined Tower Defense Simulator. And as I joined, I was prompted to play the tutorial mode because the rewards of 600 coins and Demo Man were not bad. But I then skipped that part because it was kind of boring, and I skipped to when I actually started. So this was honestly not that interesting. So most of it's just an examination of how I did the tutorial, and it doesn't really go through that much of it. But I'm just placing towers, and I did have to do this twice because my game lagged out on the first time. So this is the second try I did this time. And so I was recording, but I had to delete that. And I then just decided to cut to all the way to the boss because it was just 5 minutes of me just sitting there following the tutorial. And then we went to the dummy boss and I used the minigunner and we shredded it. It wasn't even that hard. 250 HP in 5 waves is not that interesting. Even though it was a tutorial, I beat it easily. Also, my username is first username I ever came up with, because I don't know, it just came to mind. I was just spamming letters and king. So I then finished that, did a little gorilla thing, and I was off to the beginning. Don't mind what I was doing there. That was not me. Then I did a little dance because I'm so skilled. And we head off to the beginning. I was in the loading screen and I was just chilling for a little while until I finally did load in. And I did have to close everything out and check my inventory to get the new Demo Man equipped. I checked my quest first and I saw that I could get a premium crate and a kill patient zero quest, so that was some of the best quests I could get so right now. So I equipped Demo Man and looked upon what I could buy and decided on buying Hunter because his DPS was insane with only 12 placement limit, and it was so cheap. It was one of the best things in the game so far for early players. I checked the battle pass. There's nothing really much, so I hopped into a casual game, seeing that I couldn't really do anything else, and I didn't really do much. I looked around the lobby for a little while, saw some interesting people, and just waited for my game to start, honestly. And I did a little bit of tomfoolery while I was waiting. I saw that one of the players had a turret, which was actually quite good, because we would be heavily carried if he actually placed out the turret. But I don't know if he would leave, or if he just misclicked, because this is literally the easiest game mode in the game, so. I saw that I had another bacon hair teammate, which was pretty awesome. So I typed in chat, bacon hair synergy, which is probably one of the best things I could have typed, because we're both bacon hairs. And we went on the oddly satisfying atmospheric map, Fungi Island. And you know where we went, because we had that bacon hair synergy. He replied with yes, and I put down a sniper for early game. One of the other players put down a soldier, and he had the goofiest haircut I've ever seen. And my bacon hair friend also put down a sniper, which is probably what carried us from the game. I figured out that if they died in a tree, you couldn't actually get the eggs unless you went behind the tree, which is really annoying later. I decided to see how much a hunter would cost, and it costed $750. So I prompted on placing a Demo Man for the early game for help with splash damage. So around that time, I placed the Demo Man and just looked what was happening. I saw that my other teammate was farming and had the exclusive skin Lemonade Farm, which was pretty cool. I upgraded my Demo Man as soon as I could, which was next wave actually, and I just looked at myself pretty good. I don't know why I was doing that. The Demo Man was actually helping quite a bit because its splash damage was highly crucial for the spammy waves that happened in this game mode. So I upgraded it to level 2 and see what I was gonna do. What did that rhyme? I don't know, but I was about to place a hunter, and I got more eggs, which is pretty nice, and a logbook, which is pretty unusual because I've never gotten that early. I saw how much it was for a chain at China Lake, which was 1,650, which was quite expensive, so I decided to get that later. I placed a hunter as soon as I could and upgraded to level 1. I decided on just trying to get hunters and devilmans instead of snipers because scouts and snipers were not that great. I upgraded the hunter to level 2 and waited a little bit. Soon I'm going to cut this to a little more exciting bits because this was not that exciting. We just shredded everything with the combined powers of us, and one of my teammates placed a DJ, which was really cool because it gave discounts and other buffs. I decided to get the China Lake because the splash damage was really good and the damage was also really good. So that was really good for splash damage, and we shredded the early game waves. It was already around wave 10 that I placed another hunter, because hunter is really good for early game. We shredded basically everything, even the boss eventually, so there wasn't really nothing to worry about. One of my teammates said something pretty controversial in a little bit, which I followed up with something even more controversial. So right now, I saw that Delman did not have hidden detection. It was a pretty big issue, but then I realized Hunter would just take care of it, so that was pretty good. I got my sniper upgraded, which is one of the best things I could have done because sniper's DPS is really good and it has a ton of damage. I then placed another Demon Man because it's one of the best splash damage towers for early game, and there's not even a ton of splash damage towers. So that happened, and then I tried to get it to level 2, but nothing really happened for a while. Got out level 2 and focused on hunters. I shipped to around late game where I got a ton of hunters down and 3 Demoman because that was one of the best strats I was doing. And this is what I was talking about. You have to run into the tree to get the stuff, which is kind of annoying having to do that every second. Or every wave, I guess. But at least I got some. And then I literally saw 2 logbooks appear at once, which was insane. And I couldn't get this one, so I had to go behind the tree. And somehow I got 2 of them from 1. I don't know how this makes sense. And it gave the game a side eye, which was pretty nice. Because they needed to get their game over. I saw that we were shredding absolutely everything, so I decided to upgrade my stuff and actually contribute to the team a little bit, because what am I supposed to do? And then we couldn't get this 1 egg, so we had to go behind the tree again. I then started maxing out hunters and getting a couple more of them for some extra DPS in case we couldn't shred the boss. I don't know why I thought this, because turrets are literally one of the best DPS towers in the game. You shred everything, so I don't know. And then these 2 egg spawn that I could just not get, and it just made me so angry because my ADHD brain was kicking in and I could not get those 2 eggs. I got one of them and just could not get the other. Like, I don't know why. I just gave up on it after a while and started maxing out other hunters. I saw that he had maxed his DJ, which was pretty nice for discounts, and also it was really nice for the damage and rank buff, and I saw that we were absolutely shredding every boss that came our way, and my other teammate was spamming scouts, which wasn't ideal because they're really lacking on DPS, but still, at least they're placing towers. I looked around and didn't really see anyone talking, so I saw the speed bots get absolutely shredded and maxed out another hunter. Also, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, but only if you're enjoying the video. Also, my teammate mentioned if you're gonna pick up that supply drop. I don't even know where the supply drop was, because one of my teammates earlier actually dropped a supply drop, and I don't know where. And honestly, I don't know why he said that, because I think he already did. Then he said nice for no reason, which doesn't make any sense, so I just continued maxing on hunters, which are probably one of the best things I've done because they do 120 damage at max, which is really cool. I got 2 hunters in the back just for some extra DPS, and then I ran out of money, which sucked. But it was all good because I got money every 2 seconds from just killing zombies. Then a ton of breaks spawned, and this is where my demo men really shined because they absolutely murdered them. Then I got another another logbook, which is actually pretty cool because I'm getting a ton of logbooks from this game mode, which is pretty nice. And I watched as we shredded everything in the entire boss system. I saw that he had maxed out a turret, which is one of the best thing DPS towers in the game, which was pretty much going to carry us through the entire game mode. And I got another hunter down, so we could have, I don't even know, I was just placing hunters. I thought I was contributing, but I wasn't really doing anything. He said oh my gosh, boss next wave, and we just responded with all rights and okays, because the boss wasn't even that exciting. I didn't know how much HP we would have, so I did prepare a little bit by getting one more hunter and maxing it out. And then the boss appeared. It was just a ton of speedy bosses at first, but nothing really happened. And then Commander said, "It's the Gravedigger," which was, I think we know though. And then I put some eggs, and we were just shooting everything. Literally nothing was getting past the even tree, dude. It was wild. I don't think anything got past that first curve right there. We continued on shredding on everything until eventually the Gravedigger spawned, which we absolutely shredded. It was only half a second and 5,000 man HP is gone, which is crazy. I bet we beat this boss in about 15 seconds because we absolutely shredded him. It wasn't even a challenge. We were definitely getting carried though because turrets and a DJ absolutely demolish everything, and their DPS is off the charts. Well, turrets is, not DJs. So basically, we just instantly got the win, and it was pretty easy. Upon returning back to the lobby, I saw that I got 450 coins and 125 XP, and I saw that I got 65,000